guys, it's me, Tina Marie, with True Meaning of Radiance. Today's video is actually going to be a video on Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome. A lot of people do not know about it. A lot of people don't even know they have Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome. I'm one of those people that didn't find out until I was in my upper 20s that I had this problem. And I'm actually here today. It's going to be a little bit, you're going to think it's preaching, but I'm really not trying to preach. But I see Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome as a means of being a testimony, because I am a testimony. Basically with Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome, it works in many different ways. You could either be irregular with periods, or you can be a person that gets periods every month like clockwork and just no ovulation. And a lot of times it's defined, and they find it because they do an ultrasound and they notice that you have like cysts in a circular formation around your ovaries, is how they can find out that you have. Also, they can do tests as well to find out if you have Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome. Not everyone who's overweight, that's a woman, has Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome. Let's just put it out there. Some of the drawbacks of it, it does cause infertility. So if you have Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome, one way you may find out is just due to the fact that you're trying to get pregnant and you're not able to get pregnant and you don't know what's going on, and they run a battery of tests. A lot of people with Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome, one sign you may know that you have it is excessive facial hair. Hair throughout your body is one way to tell as well. And another way you know you have it is you're insulin resistant. Not diabetic, but you have an insulin resistance problem, or you may find it tough to lose weight. All those things are signs of Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome. So if you think you have Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome, it's very, very important that you do talk to your doctor, get all the correct testing done. That way you can get your Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome under control. So this video is to give hope. On top of you giving hope is to explain it a little bit more, and to let you know out there that this is not a death sentence for your fertility. Just because you have Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome doesn't mean you cannot have children. I am living proof of it. I've had 4 pregnancies. Yes, 4 pregnancies and 3 live births. If you've been rocking with me for a while, you guys know back in January 2014, I did have a miscarriage. And I told myself then, I said, God will give me double for my trouble. And did he ever? I was thinking twins, but God said, I got something else for you, okay? And I got pregnant with Grace with the help of Cashback, what we're going to talk about in a minute. And then right after, I got pregnant with Christian. So I have 3 live births. My first live birth was back in 2008 with Justin. So don't tell me that it means infertility and a death sentence. So now that we got that out the way, that you can conceive of Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome, let's talk about how I got Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome, or how I found out I had it. Because I'm one of the types that get periods every single month, but no ovulation. The doctor even told me I ovulate once in a blue moon. So I'm like, well, that defeats the purpose of getting a period. Why get a period if you cannot conceive? Like, I don't see the point in that. Like, just let me have irregular periods. But that wasn't the case with me. Periods came like clockwork. Just no ovulation. So it didn't bother me none. I'm in my young 20s. I ain't thinking about no kid. I wasn't worried about it. I was like, I'll have kids when I'm 30. I wasn't even looking to get pregnant. Then bam, I got pregnant with Justin. When I got pregnant with Justin, I went to the doctor. The doctor said, this kid is, not going to make it. And I'm going to say this, and you're going to hear me say this quite often throughout the video. What God has for you, no one can take from you. Not even a doctor. Nothing that they say is set in stone when God has a plan on your life. And you're going to have me say this quite a bit in this story, okay? So here we are, almost 8 years later. Justin is fine. He is 7 years old now, about to be 8 in October, and he's still here. So for them to tell me he wouldn't make it, show me what an incredible God I serve, okay? So I had Justin. A couple years go by. I want to have another baby. So, me and Kenny tried for, I want to say at least 6 months. Nothing was happening. And then I went to my doctor, and at the time I had an HMO, and HMOs will not help you get pregnant unless you pay an arm and a leg, okay? So they did a battery of tests to see, what was wrong with me. They noticed I had some insulin resistance, and they said, we want to do some more tests. We want to do an ultrasound, and they did an ultrasound, and that's when they seen that ring. And they said, you have Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome. that's the issue that you're having. So what they did is they actually put me on a medication called metformin. Metformin helps with insulin resistance. In return, with a lot of people with polycystic ovarian syndrome, for one, it helps get your period on track. And on top of getting your period on track, it actually helps you with shedding weight and makes it a lot easier because you follow like this diabetic type of diet, and it helps you so you're able to get more regular periods. Now, again, regular periods wasn't a problem I had a problem with, but it did help with weight loss and it did help with getting my insulin under control. So a couple more months go by and nothing's happening, because with metformin you can get pregnant or you cannot, but metformin is a diabetic medication. So a couple more months go by, I go back. They're like, look, we're not going to help you. You need to be happy with what you have. You have one son. So many people with polycystic ovarian syndrome, they cannot conceive whatsoever. So just be happy with what you got, because you weren't supposed to even get that. And I was like, excuse you? So that's what they told me, and they wanted me to leave with that. And they said, oh yeah, and lose some weight. You'll get pregnant, just lose some weight. And at the time I'm like, well, I've already dropped over 10% of my body weight. Because if you don't know, if you drop 10% of your body weight, that increases your chances of fertility so much. Just 10% of wherever you are right now makes such a huge difference when it comes to the body. And I'm like, oh, I already did all that. And, you know, even though I'm not where I wanted to be, or even now where I wanted to be, I'm like, I'm still not pregnant. So they basically told me to give up, that it wasn't going to happen. Just be happy with my son. And a couple years go by. We moved to Texas. Once we moved to Texas, we're still trying. Nothing is happening. So I went to see one of the best doctors in Houston that deals with infertility and my issue, polycystic ovarian syndrome. And at that time, I'm with the PPO. I'm still with the PPO. Thank God I got away from that HMO. I'm not going to bring out any names, but I got rid of HMOs. So I went to go see this doctor. He did test. He said, yes, for sure, you have polycystic ovarian syndrome. He said, we'll give you Clomid. You'll get pregnant here within 6 months. So I did the first round of Clomid. After I did the first round of Clomid, it was unsuccessful. And the way you know that Clomid was unsuccessful, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the way you know Clomid was unsuccessful is you go on day 21 and they check your progesterone. If your progesterone is under a certain amount, that means you did not ovulate that month. So they went and checked my progesterone after having me on 25 milligrams of Clomid. It didn't work, and I just gave up. I was like, you know what? I've had enough. I'm done trying. I'm over this. So that's when we decided to let it go. We were going to not try anymore. And that's when we lived in Houston. Okay, fast forward, we moved back to Austin. You know, life is moving on. I got some dental. It's so crazy because the way I got pregnant with Justin was I got dental work done because I had a lot of strain on my teeth. After I got my dental work done, y'all, I was pregnant with Justin the next month. And I told Kenny, I was like, watch, because my wisdom teeth were hurting so bad. And I got them extracted. I said, watch, after I get these wisdom teeth out, I'm going to get pregnant, because that stress, because any type of stress, even stress on your body from your teeth or body aches, things like that, that can all play effect and, you know, coincide and change up things in your body. So I got them out. And lo and behold, in January, right after I got my wisdom teeth out, within 2 weeks, boom, I was pregnant. And I went to take a test. I will never forget this day. I might get a little emotional. We went to go buy a test because I missed my period. And I was like, watch, I'm telling you, this is it. And this is after not even wanting to try anymore. And we said, F it, everything. And we went to take the test. And we were like the happiest we were, and oh wow, because it came back pregnant. And it was such a great moment. But unfortunately, it was very shortly lived. At the 6-week, 3-day mark, we were coming in from the store. I went to the restroom. And I was like, oh, okay, my period's about to start. This is my mindset because I'm so used to getting my periods. I'm not used to being pregnant. I'm used to getting my periods. So I'm like, okay, yeah, my period's about to start because it was brown. And then I was like, wait, period? That's not right. And then we went to the ER, and Kenny's mom went with me. Kenny stayed with Justin, and that's when they gave me the bad news, like an hour and a half later, and they were like, your baby didn't make it. I'm sorry, guys. They say your baby didn't make it, and all you think is 5 years. You wanted this for 5 years. You talked to God, you asked God, and then you think, why would you do this? You promised you would give me the desires of my heart, and you give me something and you take it away. And the few weeks after, it was really hard for me not to blame myself, not to blame Kenny, not to blame God. And then I had to regroup myself. I'm so sorry, guys. And I had to regroup myself and say, you know what? I have an angel baby that's watching down on me, and it's gonna be okay. And I actually had and they had to get a DNC. They gave me a pill to take, and I took the pills, and I passed the baby out through me in the bathroom. I'm sorry, guys. But through the experience, I actually met my new doctor. My new doctor put me on Clomid. I said, you know, I did Clomid 25 milligrams. It didn't work. Can we up it? And he was like, no, this is my first time working with you. So we're going to do the 25 milligrams again. We're going to see where the 25 gets you. If the 25 doesn't work, we'll bump you up the next month up to 50. I was like, okay, I'll give it another go. So this is May, because you have to give your body at least 2 months. So this is, yeah, is it May? No, it was April when I took them, and they did all the testing. It was like a middle of the month kind of thing. And I remember making a Mother's Day video, even telling people if you lost a child, you are still a mother, when I did a Mother's Day haul. And I showed everybody what Justin made me. And one of my followers said, don't worry, because your blessing's here. You are pregnant. And at the time I didn't know, but I actually was pregnant. So it did work for me. First go around, I was so excited. And that's when I got pregnant with Grace. So I found out, I think maybe a week or so after Mother's Day, that I was pregnant with Grace. As you know, Grace did come early. Grace came at 35 weeks and spent almost a full month in the NICU. And then it's like, you really battle with yourself spiritually, because you're like, okay, you give me a child, you give me my daughter, and everything's going great. Towards the end, I have to have this emergency C-section. It's SVT, but it's dormant. And really what SVT is, rapid heart rate. And when I went for this appointment, it was on the 30th of December, at like 4 or something in the afternoon. And he was like, no, your baby's heart rate is over 250 beats per minute. You need to get across the street right now. We're having an emergency C-section right now. And it's crazy. And then I had to deal with the NICU, and that's a whole nother video in itself, having a child in the NICU. And at the same time, I was so distraught that I caught pneumonia. Like my lungs collapsed on me. So I'm staying at the parent room in the NICU so I can be close to Grace. My lungs collapsed, so I'm admitted to the hospital myself. It was crazy. And then at the 4-week mark, they checked my incision and was like, okay, you're good to go. You know, Grace came home and everything. And then it's time, you know, went by. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't get my period. What is going on? You know what I mean? And I'm like, my Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome must be playing games with me. And Kitty was out in the shed, and he was like, man, what does it mean? I was like, I don't know, but we need to be, you know, smart. Go ahead and go to the Dollar Tree and get a test and let me know what it says. So he brings the Dollar Tree test back, y'all. I take it. At first I don't see anything. I'm like, cool, so that means my period's a little bit late. I can chill out. And then the line appears. I'm like, holy ish, okay? Holy ish, okay? I'm pregnant again. I'm like, wait, I got a 6-week-old in the other room and I'm pregnant again. So yeah, I'm calling Kenny. I'm calling him. He's not answering. He's out in the shed. And then he answers. And he's like, what? He said, I know what you're going to tell me. I was like, yeah, I'm pregnant. And he was like, God, what are we going to do? We just had a baby. How are we going to explain to everyone that we're doing this again? So if you don't know, it normally takes time for your body to heal after a pregnancy. They normally say, especially if you had a C-section like I did, that your body should heal at least for 18 plus months. So my body has had 0 recovery time, and here I am, I'm pregnant with Christian. As you guys know, Christian's pregnancy, it was really rough, really rough on me. Like, I hardly worked at all. It was that bad. And when it was all said and done, Christian was born 2 weeks early. Throughout the pregnancy, he had problems with IGR. That means he was growing smaller because I kept getting really sick, so I wasn't able to eat like I needed to. But eventually I was able to get my eating back up so he could be born at least a decent weight. Him and Grace were both 6 pounds 6 ounces, and Grace was 35 weeks 6 pounds 6 ounces, and he was 38 weeks 6 pounds 6 ounces. But trust me, my kids have definitely caught up in that department, so that's nothing to worry about now. But I made the decision to get my tubes tied, and a lot of people ask me, okay, do you regret it? And I say no, because when I was in there getting my C-section, they say your uterus is paper thin. You getting your tubes tied is the best thing that you can do for your body, because you get pregnant again, you take a risk of hurting another life and yours. And I'm like, I don't want to take that risk. So that's why I got my tube tied, and I don't regret it. I don't regret it. Yes, can no more kids. Everyone, I know people get pregnant, I'll hold their baby, I'll be happy, and I have enough kids. Like, I don't even need any more. But yeah, so that's my story time. Telling you about my polycystic ovarian syndrome. I'm trying to think of any questions I can answer for you guys. I know I get a lot of questions on how I became pregnant. With Justin, it was just me and Young, and I got pregnant. With Grace, well, with the miscarriage, it was due to the fact that I got my wisdom teeth extracted, and a lot of stress was taken off my body. Like I said, when you let go and let God, and you give up all that stress, God will make a way. Grace, same thing, but I had the help of Clomid. And Christian, that was God. That was straight God. God said, I'm gonna give you double for your trouble. And he gave me double for my trouble, all right. He gave me 2 pregnancies back to back, okay? So that was just God's doing. I ain't had nothing to do with that one, okay? Nothing to do with that at all, but I thank God for it, I'm telling you. So I say all this to say this. If you have polycystic ovarian syndrome, make sure you speak with your doctor. You should never feel you can't have a child or talk to your doctor, because if God has something for you, nothing anyone can say will take that from you. So doctors are here to help. Sometimes they can be discouraging, but as long as you know you talk to God and you and God are on one accord, trust me, he will give you the desires of your heart. It may not happen this year. It may not happen next year. It may not happen 5 years from now. But I'm telling you, as clear as my name is Tina Marin, that if you want this, God will give it to you. And if something happens where, let's say you have to adopt, some people have to adopt, but God still gave you the desire of your heart. You wanted a child, and then he helped you extend your love to another human being that may not have had someone to love them. Do you understand how great a gift that is? Do you really understand how great of a gift it is to be able to adopt a child and give them love that they might not ever have received in their life? I'm getting so emotional. Guys, I'm so sorry. Like, this subject means a lot to me. Like, it means a lot to me because I see myself as a testimony. I see myself as a walking testimony for anyone who's ever been told you can't have a kid. I've been told that. I'm a living example of Hey, you can't have kids. Hey, you can't lose weight because you have polycystic ovarian syndrome. Hey, it's so much that you cannot do because of polycystic ovarian syndrome. Hey, I'm here to tell you, F that. Seriously, F that. If something's meant for you and you want it and you got on one accord with God, trust me, you'll get it. You will get it. Sometimes it comes in different shapes and forms, but you will get the desires of your heart. Any more questions about polycystic ovarian syndrome, definitely feel free to let me know below. I definitely will answer the questions for you. But that's my story time. I know this is a little bit different type of story time. I know most people are doing gossip, well, not gossip, but doing like juicy stories and stuff like this. But this is my testimony and I wanted to share it with you guys because I get a lot of questions. It's so crazy how many of my subscribers have polycystic ovarian syndrome and how many people I meet that have polycystic ovarian syndrome that say, girl, I got PCOS, I got 2 kids. And one lady told me, she said, I got 5 kids and I got polycystic ovarian syndrome and I have 5 kids naturally. I'm like, what? So it's crazy because the doctors will tell you, no, you cannot have kids, or it's extremely difficult to get pregnant. And you're like, well, she had all these kids. She had all these kids. Why can't I have all these kids? You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's my testimony. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, rate, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Like seriously, if you know somebody that is suffering from infertility, share this video. If you know someone that has polycystic ovarian syndrome and you know they have given up hope or they need to hear an encouraging word, share this video. Give them that encouragement that they need to know that it's all right. And I say it to all of you, even if you watch this video today, you don't have polycystic ovarian syndrome, but you enjoy me, you know, share this video with someone that may have this issue or infertility and just afraid to speak up about their problem. You are not alone. I am here for you. And if you need anything, definitely let me know in the comments below. Any encouraging words I can give you, I definitely want to help do that. So I hope this video helped just one person. If I get 1 view from this video and it helped someone, it made my day. It really makes my day just to be able to help one person. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.